Let's f***ing go.
Welcome to the Tuesday edition of LFG, 2 for Tuesday. Is it? I don't know if it's a 2 for Tuesday, but that was like the thing, right?
2 for Tuesday.
Yep.
Love 2 for Tuesday. Every rock station in town had a 2 for Tuesday.
Yes, you'd get 2 Metallica, you'd get 2 Foreigner,
Motley Crue,
2 Def Leppard. Yeah, it was that was great. And usually one of the 2 would be like not necessarily a B-side, but it wouldn't be. It would be one that wasn't they wouldn't play like 2 hits. You know what I mean?
I want hits. Don't just play me the hits. Don't give me any of this other. That's why I like that one music format called Jack FM.
Oh yeah, I like Jack FM.
All they do is play hits, and it doesn't matter the genre. And the guy who came up with it was a music exec who went to visit his daughter at college, and they went to some off-campus bar, and he noticed people are going to the jukebox, and they're putting money in, and you could play Def Leppard. And Bisa could go in and play, pick like Garth Brooks. And Mac goes in and plays Barbra Streisand. And he thought, why couldn't there be a radio station that just plays songs that are popular and it doesn't matter the genre? And that's how the music format of Jack FM came about.
Yeah, so we got Jack FM. We play what we want. Jack FM,
yeah.
Right?
Exactly. We play what we want.
Did either of you see the movie The Dirt about Motley Crue, speaking of Motley Crue?
No, I love Motley Crue.
Yeah,
Tell me about this movie.
I saw the movie.
The movie is awesome. It's based on the book, which is even more insane. It's just about them and about their crazy wild tales on the road, and it is as crazy as you think it would be. And
they have a place right. I live in Franklin, Tennessee. They have a place in Leaper's Fork it's gosh darn it, I forget the name of it, but it's just a club for them. And they hang out with their music buddies when they're in town.
I've got a good Vince Neil story.
Yeah, I think Vince Neil lives in Vince Neil either lives in my town or the next town over. But he's a guy who is in charge.
Have you seen Vince Neil there? Have you seen him hanging out in Nashville?
I think I've seen him at the Leapers Fork Parade, his place. It's like a private club right on this old country road with other really neat boutique-y stores. But I think he was there at the parade, and it was, the Judd sister, who was the queen of the parade that week, that year. So that's how those are the stars who just show up. Reba was eating breakfast at Country Boy the other day. You're just going to run into these people. By the way, this is the greatest rock ballad in the history of rock ballads.
This is such a great song.
Yes, surpassing a little song called Beth. Kiss.
I think I told, by the way, Kiss, total aside, I told you about seeing The Fall Guy.
Yeah.
The Kiss song, I was made for loving you, baby, whatever that song is. That's like the theme for the movie. And I was like, and I knew the song, and I was like, God, what is that song? And it's amazing how movies sometimes can take a song that you really didn't, have a feeling about, and you're like, wow, that song is great. So, but anyway, this is a great song. There's the Professor of Rock. I've talked about him. He does a whole bit about this. This song almost didn't make the album. And this song only became popular because of MTV. Like, they played this song on MTV, and people lost their minds, and that's why it became popular.
The video was unbelievable, and they used to do the top 10 countdown where all day people would call up, and then at 6 o'clock Eastern time, for an hour, they ran the top 10 songs in the country. And this won so many times that they had to take it off of the list because it had the most consecutive day winning streak of any individual song. It was always this song.
Yeah, and
I'm his Total Request Live. I'm his Total Request Live. That was some good TV.
No, that was that was a little bit for me after MTV. I was over MTV at that point, but I get it. Because the last night I was going down a YouTube rabbit hole. And as I am apt to do, because I don't know what is there. I hardly, unless it's sports, I'm really not ever watching live TV. And I'll go to YouTube and just kind of the algorithm has me nailed, man. It brings me up a ton of stuff. And last night I ended up watching a 1984. Do you remember Friday Night Videos on NBC?
Yes, I loved it. It was an awesome show.
It was a Friday Night Videos, and it was like the debut of Lionel Richie, Hello, and they're like also on the show, Van Halen, Huey Lewis and the News, and it was like And I was like, wow, like that was some great stuff. That was a great era. That was a great era of music, man.
It's
Loved
amazing that those are still around. I didn't even know that those are still. I'm actually not going to search it for fear that the algorithm will get me hooked into it.
Yeah,
you know,
the algorithm gets you every time. All right, we do have some sports stuff to get to today because it is kind of a sports show. Although we're like the Jack FM version of sports talk radio.
That's a good
right?
description. That's a good description.
We talk about what we want. Do we?
If we're
Matt?
getting to the if we're getting to sports within 6 minutes of the show, that's weird for us. Usually we go about half an hour before we start talking.
Oh,
about
don't worry. I'm
sports.
going to deviate us back away from sports here in a second. I just want to talk about what topics we will hit on today. By the way, 959 call LFG if you've got any thoughts on Friday night videos, Total Request Live, or anything sports related. Matt, did we our Detroit friend? Do we have any news on that front?
No, I did not get a text back on that, but I did reach out.
Okay, all right. So, I thought it might be fun to have our friend Jennifer Hammond, who's with Fox 2 in Detroit, on today, given the fact that the Detroit Lions opened up the vault for Jared Goff yesterday, and I'm curious what your thoughts on that are. And also, we kind of glazed over it, but the Pistons got absolutely shafted in the NBA draft lottery. But before we get into that, I need to. So Matt Fowler yesterday, Coach. Yesterday we talked about my other venture that's going on. As if I don't have enough.
You can't just say my other venture because you've got about 4 or 5 irons going right now.
I do. One of them is going to hit. And then I'm actually, going to be able
to. Sounds like
to.
my parlay at this point.
I love the optimism.
Yeah.
I know. What's the success rate between? That's the game we should play. Success rates on Matt's gambling plays versus your business plays.
Yeah.
Who's ahead in that, Kirby?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. That's a good question. And also the bets that don't get made. But yesterday I enlisted Matt, so we're doing every legal word. We're going to do another live reading tonight if the testimony breaks in time before we're at 8 Central, we're going to do a live read. If the testimony breaks in time from yesterday's Michael Cohen morning session, then that's what we're going to do live. We're also going to post the cross-examination of Stormy Daniels at some point tonight. And we recorded, because there were less voice people involved on so Stormy Daniels testified for 2 days, and the first day there was the afternoon and the morning session, or the morning and the afternoon session. Day 2, she was only in the morning session, and then the afternoon session was a bunch of procedural witnesses. But then at the end of day 2, they had a sidebar with the judge that was absolutely great stuff. It was, they were trying to get a mistrial, and they were trying to get the gag order loosened and all that. So I needed an extra attorney. I needed a district attorney. So Matt Fowler decided that he would step in to play the role of a district attorney. So he is playing Christopher Conroy, and I don't have it queued up, but let's listen if I can find Matt here on.
It's about 4 minutes in.
Okay, this is me as the judge.
Yeah, you have like 3 words.
Okay, hold on. This is Mr. Blanche. All right, I'm just skipping around trying to find Matt.
Is it the same thing you sent me yesterday, the same 30-minute?
Yeah, but I don't know where you fall in the actual timeline.
I'm 4 minutes into that.
Oh, are you?
Oh, you look for that. Yeah. I'm going to let the audience
Okay, here
know
we go.
this is from the Trump trial.
Oh, here we go.
David
Here's Matt. Here's Matt.
We're not hearing it.
I unfortunately cannot hear Matt.
Oh, you guys can't hear it?
No, This is from the Trump trial going on in New York City.
Why is that?
The reenactment being done by the Dave Benz players.
All right, hold on. Why is that?
You can hear nightly.
That is not going out onto the. Why is that not? All right. Well, whatever. I guess I'll have to. Play that another time because I don't have that looped into the mic. All right.
I was ready to hear Matt's, vocal performance here.
I can probably play it actually.
No. Well, do you have it, Matt? But do you have
I do.
Okay. All right. If you've got it. Anyway, let's just, Matt, try and find that later. Let's move on. And if we have that,
do you have it now, Matt?
We'll come back to it.
Yeah, I do.
Because I'm into it.
Oh, you do? Okay. All right. Let's hear Matt as District Attorney Christopher Conroy.
Hang on. Just talk amongst yourself for 30 seconds. I'll cue it up.
I also
I do have it.
After this segment, I will have an update, a political comedy update from here in
oh
Nashville,
yes,
Tennessee.
nice.
Yeah,
We
will have.
So you have tickets. All right, let's get into Matt. Find it and get queued up, and we'll talk about it a little later in the show. We'll come back to it. Cause the NBA last night, the Dallas Mavericks, they blow a lead big time against the Oklahoma City Thunder, and you've been on the Thunder bandwagon this
I am.
entire time. And
I
the
am.
Thunder now have gotten home court advantage back, and they're going back to OKC for a best of three. By the way, how tight are all these series? The only one that is really a blowout right now is Boston, and Donovan Mitchell didn't play last night.
Yeah, what happened with that? Why didn't he play? Is he ill or was he injured?
I don't know. I didn't find out. I didn't even know that he didn't play until this morning because I didn't.
Yeah, I've only heard he didn't play, but no one has given me the excuse. So come on, reporters, do some reporting.
Calf injury. He missed Game 4 with a calf injury.
Oh, that's not good. That's not good. That's
All
not
right,
good.
Dave, I have it queued up.
That's an explosive muscle right there.
Okay. All right. Let's play a quick snippet of Matt since he's got it queued up.
All right, here we go. Thank you, Judge. And it seems as though the other side lives in almost an alternative reality. First of all, there is not another side out there. There is a proceeding here that this order is designed to protect. And I think it's been somewhat effective thus far. And I think that we have to look back as to why it was issued in the first place to put in context what's going on here. This order was issued to protect the witnesses, the citizens participating as jurors, all the people participating in this proceeding, and this very proceeding itself.
All right, so there's a little quick snippet of Matt Fowler as District Attorney Christopher Conroy reading the exact transcript of the afternoon sidebar on May 8th at the Trump trial. So everylegalword.com is the place to go if you want more on that. And
that's hard to do, by the way.
Yeah, well, some of the stuff like, Coach, do you know what the word limine means? Have you ever heard that word?
Lemony.
Like
No, I know lemony.
Work. Lemon.
Lemony.
No, lemony. Lemony is.
Did you look it up?
Yeah, it's a legal term.
Is it Limeny?
Limine.
INE. And what does it mean? Pray tell.
It means.
Use it in a sentence. Let me use it in a sentence. See if I can figure it out.
It's a motion of limine, I believe it is. So let's see if I can find out.
You
what it
can't
means.
spell limine.
It's Limine. It's a Latin term meaning at the threshold. A motion in limine is a pretrial motion asking certain evidence be found inadmissible and that it not be referred to or offered at trial.
All right.
So that was a word that came up that I had to read yesterday, and I was like, I have no idea what this word means.
Yeah, and that comes up because these are cold reads you guys are doing.
Yeah, cold reads.
So that is not easy to do when you catch a word that you're not used to.
And then there's also a word omnibus.
That I know.
And what does that mean? Dated? A volume containing several novels or other items previously published separately. Legal definition. A proposed law that covers a number of diverse or unrelated topics. Anyway.
Okay.
So this is all fun stuff that I'm finding out right now.
What's the other business you have about a tip? You give a tip. How much of it?
Yeah, I haven't done anything with that business. That is called goaltender. Where you can stop people from tipping, and the theme is not today. You get Dikembe Mutombo as the spokesperson, wagging his finger. Not today.
I like it because I'm sick and tired of ordering things and just going to a fast food place and they're spinning that thing around and they want and it starts at like 18%. Right? It's like the first one's 18, 20.
I've seen
20.
25. I've seen 25. It's like, have you lost your mind? And then some of these places you go to and they'll get you with the double whammy, right? Like when I was in Florida a few weeks ago, Emily was with me in Florida and we went out to, I don't know if it was dinner or lunch. We went somewhere and I ended up tipping on top of the tip that had already been added in to the bill. They preload a tip. And the gratuity is already added, and you don't catch that, and then you end up tipping on top of it. That's the worst.
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of that. I'm just, and I tip. We all worked in the food service industry.
Yep.
But come on, man. You know, I still to this day remember the one guy who left me a $3 tip when I had a table of, or I'm sorry, a 3-cent tip when I had a table of 6.
Yeah. Well, 3 cent. Wait, a 3 cent tip on a table
Yep.
of 6?
Yep.
What?
Yep.
Were they Canadian?
It was a busy, busy night, and the dude was upset that I didn't get him his beer on time, and it was just one of those nights where I was given too many tables. I couldn't handle it, and I apologized. I said, "Listen, we've got a busy night tonight. I'm doing the best I can. I promise." And then one of their meals might not have been maybe it wasn't the right make that came from the chef, and he gave me a 3-cent tip. And at the time it was like $100,
Right.
$100 thing, which which now today probably would have been a $300 dinner.
Right.
So
Did you? What's the like most dramatic way you've ever left a job? Because I left my one job as a waiter. I left with the guns blazing. I burnt the place. I not literally burnt the place down, but I burnt every bridge possible with the manager when I left, because he kind of hosed me, so I hosed him right back.
well, good for you. I like that.
Wait, we need to hear the story. You can't just say that.
So we
What
had
happened?
we had a time off book, right? So if you wanted a day off, you needed to put it down in the book, and in order of who had written their request for a date off, that was the priority that they gave for not scheduling you that day. And it was when I when I was in college. I got a cough. Hold on. Sorry about that. I don't know where that came from. I was
the phlegm in your throat is where that came from.
So I was in college, and I was working for the student-run radio station at Syracuse University, and their big thing was at the New York State Fair, which is every Labor Day weekend. They would have a booth, and they would have a big deal. So they wanted me to go host my radio show from the New York State Fair. And I knew about this like 6 weeks in advance. So I put it down in the time off book, and I was the top person. I was the only person when I wrote the date off. I was the only person who had written on that page, which is pretty much 100% guarantee you're going to get the day off.
Right.
Well,
right.
for whatever reason, the manager who made the schedule, I don't know what his beef with me was, but he had some kind of a beef, and he scheduled me for that day. So when the schedule came out, I went to him and I said, "Hey, I requested this in the time off book. I'm the first name
I'm top
on
of the
there.
book. I'm top of the charts
I'm on the top
there.
of the book." And he just says, he says, "Yeah, I see that, but I need you to work that day." And I'm just like, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm not changing it." And I'm like, so I found like 3 other servers that were willing to take my shift. And he goes, "Yeah, I'm not letting you trade shifts with anybody." So
that's a D move.
Yes.
That's a D move.
So for whatever reason, he had it out for me. So I was like, "Oh, we're gonna play that game, huh?" So so I waited until the next time that he was managing when I was working a shift, and it happened to be a lunch shift. And I waited until, and I think I had like 6 tables that day, which normally they kept you at 5.
No.
I had like 6 tables working, and I waited until the place was slammed, peak hours. I had 6 tables, and then and as soon as I had the 6 tables, and all waiting for orders, I walked into his office. I took off my apron thing, and I said, "I quit. You're an a-hole." I walked out the door.
Wow, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Did he give it to you on the way out, or what happened?
I think he didn't really say anything. I think he was just stunned. He was stunned that I went in and did it.
It's funny. That's a great one, by the way. I have always thought that you need to go out I've never had the guts to do it. But when I started my NBA career early on, one of the first jobs I had was with the Philadelphia 76ers. And at the time, during the NBA draft, teams would send a front office member to the draft site. And then when their pick came up, they would call this phone. I don't know if you guys remember this. All these teams had 2 people seated at a table with their logo on the table. And I always maintained the best way, if you knew you were leaving an organization, and I should also say teams would use it as an incentive for workers. Like if you're the top salesperson that year, your gift was an all-expense paid trip to the draft for you and your wife or you and your husband, and you got to be the person at the table, and then you answered the phone, wrote the name down, and you handed it to the commissioner, right? That's how antiquated it was.
Yeah.
And so I always thought it would be awesome if you knew you were leaving the organization, that you win that thing and you're sitting at that table, and the Sixers, Jim Lynam, the GM, calls up and says, yeah, we're going to take Chris Webber. We get the number 2 overall pick. We're going to take Chris Webber with the number 2 pick. And the dude, instead of writing Chris Webber down, you just write some
Billy
random
Owens.
jagbag.
We're taking
Billy
Billy
Owens. Just anybody you want, like a backup on Michigan State who no one's heard of. And you walk up there and you give it to the commish and you drop the mic and you walk off. I always thought that would have been the best way to quit a job.
Yeah, good. Yeah, you're 100% right. But then good luck with the lawsuit that follows and the fan base that's going to come hunt you down.
I know. Oh man,
I don't think you need any part of that.
That's hilarious.
I have one that wasn't really necessarily me quitting a job, but I had a job that I was doing, and it was definitely some finagling that had to be done. It was when San Francisco State made the NCAA tournament 8 years ago for the first time in like 20 years, and I've been doing the play-by-play for every game, right? And so
you're the voice of the Gators.
By the way,
point.
quick aside, 8 years ago, Coase, that takes us back to 2016. All roads lead. All roads
lead to 2016.
Lead to 2016.
Yep.
Okay, well, actually, technically, this was 2017 because it was the end of the season. So there you go.
Okay.
What's SF State? Are they the Alligators? What are they?
The Gators, yeah.
They're the Gators. How did they get that name? There are no Gators there.
I know what the story is, but I can't remember it offhand. But there was something about, I don't know. It was some sort of a joke that turned into not a joke.
As the longtime voice of the Gators.
Yeah, I don't remember. But anyway, so
well, it's no Sac State. That's all I'll say.
Yeah.
Hornets.
So come NCAA tournament time, all of a sudden, this person in the sports department, I'm not going to say who it is because I think he still works in San Francisco. This person in the sports department decides, and I think he had some beef with somebody else other than me, but he decides that he's going to be the person that does the play-by-play for the NCAA tournament.
Whoa! Stepping on your kind of your mojo there.
Yeah, exactly. So I wasn't happy about that.
I don't like this. Name names, man. Name names.
Nah. He has the same name I do. I will say that he's a Matt something.
Matt Foley.
No. But so he.
Wait a minute now. Is he not a play-by-play guy?
He did play-by-play, but largely no, he's not.
Is
really
he more of a talk show host?
I don't know what he's been
What
up to.
what station does he work for?
He works for one of the colleges now, not SF State anymore. But
okay.
But anyway, so
he's not a broadcaster in San Francisco.
No, but he works in San Francisco though. He works, in the athletic department in one of the. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes to me and he goes,
"Is he a public address announcer?"
He might have done that. I don't know. Anyway, so he comes to me and he goes, "Yeah, we're not sending you to the NCAA tournament." And I'm like, "Why?" And he goes, "Well, because basically, you're an intern. Why would we send an intern to the NCAA tournament?" And I looked at him, and you guys know me, so I don't pull any BS. I go, "You really think you're better than me at play-by-play?
Wow.
You want to go? You want to go do? You want to go do this?
You want to go call by call? Come on, whip your tape out right now."
And what was funny
That's
was
what you said.
And what was funny was the obviously NCAA tournament game. However far we went, those were going to be my last games at SF State because I was graduating, right? And so he goes, "If you go to my boss, you'll never call another NCAA or you'll never call another Gators game again." And I'm like, well, I'm graduating in 2 weeks, so I probably won't do that anyway. So, okay, cool. So I called the athletic director and I go, hey, why can't I go? And he goes, what the hell are you talking about? You should go. And I'm like, yeah, can you let him know, please? And I get an email like 2 hours later from the same guy. And he's like, okay, Matt, your spot on the bus is this and your hotel is here. And I'm like,
Wow.
that changed. So,
Wow.
So you ended up doing it.
I did.
All right.
And were there any repercussions with this guy after the fact?
No, I actually saw him later in the pre-press conference for the NCAA tournament, and he just walked up to me and he says, hey, you know, if you want to ask a question, do this, do this, do this. And, you know, it was very, very professional. So I think he just tried to kind of throw his weight around and was expecting a student to not push back at him, and I don't do that. So
Attaboy.
It
Well,
was fun,
that's
though.
good.
Yeah.
All right.
Hey,
right.
did you guys? Okay, so I got breaking news that I'm just saying for the first time.
Oh, I'm liking it. I love it.
And this is fresh breaking news, by the way. This is within the last hour. Dave McMenamin, ESPN, great writer. I've met him a few times. This flew under my radar. Rudy Gobert doubling down. Did you guys know he was fined earlier this season for making a money sign gesture at an official? He doubled down. He did it in Game 4 of their series against the Nuggets. I did not know that. He's been handed a $75,000 fine by the league.
Yes. He probably is not getting a lot of sleep. Didn't he just have a child? Recently, his wife had the child. And he's probably been up, and so he's just, you know, he's losing it. He's losing it. He's a little tired, and he just decided to make the money. But you know what? Here's again the league being ridiculous. How does he get fined more than?
No, he got fined less 20, and that's probably the only reason why. By the way, because he got fined $100,000 in the regular season for doing it, and he only got fined $75,000 for doing it in Game 4. And my assumption is, Coz, you're hitting the nail on the head. They probably wanted to hit him with another $100,000 fine, but they probably said, we can't fine him as much as we fined Jamal Murray for throwing something onto the floor.
Well, yeah, and Murray only got fined $35,000.
No, I thought it was $100,000. He got fined $100K.
No,
I thought it was.
No, he did get fined $100. Yeah.
Oh,
No.
he did. Okay, I thought
Yeah.
it was $35,000. All right,
Yeah.
but still, it's embarrassing that. That's just embarrassing all the way around. What a nut! I got it. Don't you guys get tired of the NBA playoffs where it's the same scenario all the time? There's always going to be a coach who claims the small market team doesn't get the same breaks. Who's always going to claim the refs are. I mean, it's the same. I think scenario every playoff round. And the deeper it goes, it's like I could just hit a recorder and say, "Here's a coach who said the exact same thing 10 seasons ago. Hey, here's Phil Jackson. Best hits."
You know, it'd be
Boom.
great. We should find that. That should be a mission for Matt. We should be We should do like a pick the date. Matt finds some old soundbite, and we can play it and see if it would apply to a recent game. Because I think you're 100% right, Coz. By the way, the fines. I was always under the impression that at least some of the money for the fines went to charity. But now I'm reading online that no, the money gets split between the Players Association and the league retains the other half. So the league is
So much for charity.
Yeah, why that money should go to charity.
Yeah, it should go to charity. I agree.
Oh
It
wait,
should.
wait, hold on. I just opened the page. The league retaining the other half each then donates its portion to a group of charities of its choice.
So here's how that stings the player. The player coughs up the cash. The league gets the write-off because they are making the donation. So the player doesn't get to write it off. That's why they do it.
Can't you write it off as a business expense though? Because
No.
it's not. I mean,
It's
is
a penalty. Oh, you might be able to.
I don't know.
Let's
It's
go.
a business expense. I would.
Let's go to Steve Moskowitz, our team attorney.
Yeah, I would contend that's a business expense.
I met him once. I met Steve Moskowitz once. He's a nice dude.
He's an unbelievably kind and giving man. People listening.
He was a regular for Coz and I on Chronicle Live.
Yeah, and he
TV death, by the way. TV death.
He was great with us. We used to give him some stories, and he always came up with cool stuff. But I would say this for people who don't know: he is a tax lawyer Very, very bright guy who has dealt with some very, very sticky situations, and his stories off air are fantastic.
His knowledge and his stories are great, Coach. His delivery needs some work. He was not dripping with charisma. Let's just put it that way.
I used to get a lot out of him. His appetite for food and drink is otherworldly. Let me just say, otherworldly.
By the way, I've heard that from both of you about Chronicle Live being TV death.
No, Chronicle Live was not TV death. The show wasn't TV
Chronicle
death.
Live was
the
the greatest time I had in my career of all the things I've done.
No, the show was amazing.
Segment. Okay,
I'm saying Moskowitz was TV death because
Okay.
he just was so dry and there was no charisma. Although on the problem with Moskowitz was when he was on, he was on a certain day every week, right? And we would bring him on the days when there was something that we needed a legal expert on. Those days he was great. But on the days when he was just appearing because it was his weekly appearance and we're trying to force a segment, that's when it was bad.
Yeah, that's true. And that could be true about a lot of things. But he was a gracious dude. I went to a party at his house once. This is a big-time legal attorney, or a big-time tax attorney in the San Francisco Bay Area. And I went to a party at his house, and he knew that my wife and I like to drink Zinfandels, red Zins, these jammy Zins. And so while we're at the party, he said, it's time for dinner, and he walks up to me with a bottle of Zin, and he goes, Jim, this is a bottle of Zin because I know you enjoy it. I go, oh, Steve, that's so gracious. Sandra and I are going to love this. He goes, no. And he goes up to my wife. He goes, Sandra, now here's a bottle of Zin that I've picked out just for you, and you'll have this at dinner tonight. He knew what everyone liked to drink and got them a specific bottle just for that dinner, just for them. That's how gracious he is as a host.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, he's a really, really kind-hearted guy with some stories that would scare the mafia. I'm telling you.
Oh yeah, he knows where the bodies are buried. That's for sure.
Yes, he does.
He knows. He knows where the bodies are buried.
Does he know where? Does he know where Jimmy Hoffa is?
That's a good question. He might know people who know people.
Yeah.
I will tell you this, Matt. Though you're talking about the show Chronicle Live or whatever it became, it was the greatest time of my career. Those, I think, 4 or 5 years that I did that show I could not wait to get to the office. It was that much fun.
Yeah, you know what? I actually got to host it for a couple of segments. I did a tape.
You did a tape. Okay, you did a demo.
Yes,
I'm kind of bummed I wasn't there.
Yeah. Obviously, I didn't actually get to host it, Dave. Yes. Yeah. No. But it was funny because it was the coolest thing because I did it right after. Actually, I don't remember what time in the day it was, but it must have been early. But I walked into the green room, and right after, and Papa was there, and Papa looks at me and goes, "Shit, Matt, don't take my job."
Hilarious.
And that was the coolest thing on the planet for a 19-year-old kid.
That's hilarious.
So I mean, I definitely had some good times there with Chronicle Live. Definitely.
Yep.
By the way, I just went onto YouTube. Oh wait, here we go. All right, hold on. I was going to go to break, but I did find Coz. I found they were all Papa bits. But I did find one with you and Steve.
In the spotlight. FanDuel, DraftKings, other DFS companies have been given a temporary permit to continue playing in New York State. Steve Moskowitz, our sports expert,
I am smooth. My S is smooth.
Everyone was looking at this daily fantasy stuff. I thought that was bad stuff that we couldn't do.
I'm happy to see that my prediction was correct. It's all about the money.
See, look at him.
Give the politicians their piece of the pie, and everything's okay. And that's exactly what happened in New York.
All right, so
good,
let's try to
good job. Good flair from my man.
Yeah, that was good. I'm not. So when there's a topic, he was great. When you were forcing a topic, that was another story. But when there was a topic, he was great.
And so he was a sponsor. His firm was a sponsor on the show. That's why he was there every week.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, he's on Sports Talk Radio. He's on everything out here all the time. Yeah. He's got to be making some coin because he's spending a lot of coin. That's for sure.
I know what he made at the time, and I'm guessing he probably makes more now.
Yeah. All right, listen, let's hit a break. We'll have a Matt Fowler Sports update coming up. We just turned a 20-minute segment into a 35-minute segment, so we'll probably only do two break
We're
hours.
a little early for our second break. We're 14 minutes late for our first break.
Yeah, well, that's just how it goes sometimes.
Bitch, stay
That's right. Exactly. Exactly.
Back with
That
more
one.
LFG after this.
As your body grows bigger,
Your mind loves power,
it's great to learn.
'cause knowledge is power. It's Schoolhouse Rocky, the chip off the block of your favorite schoolhouse, Schoolhouse Rock.
Three is a magic number. Yes, it is. It's a magic number. Somewhere in the ancient mystic trinity, you get three as a magic number. The past and the present and the future, faith and hope and charity, the heart and the brain and the body give you three as a magic number. It takes three legs to make a tripod or to make a table stand. It takes three wheels to make a vehicle called a tricycle. Every triangle has three corners, every triangle has three sides, no more, no less. You don't have to guess. When it's three, you can see it's a magic number. A man and a woman had a little baby. Yes, they did. They had three in the family. That's a magic number. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30.
Multiply backwards from 3 times 10.
3 times 10 is 30. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1 is 3, of course.
Now take the pattern once more. 3,
3, 6, 9,
12,
12, 15, 18,
21.
21, 24, 27, 30.
Now multiply from 10 backwards.
3 times 10 is 30.
Going
3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 8 is 24. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. And 3 times 3 is 9. And 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 1. What is it? 3! Yeah, that's a magic number. A man and a woman had a little baby. Yes, they did. They had 3 in the family. That's a magic number.
It's the bottom of the hour, or close enough. Time for your Tickscape Studios Sports Update with Matt Fowler.
Aaron Rodgers' comeback season will open in prime time as the New York Jets will travel to the San Francisco 49ers to face the NFC champions on September 9th on ESPN's Monday Night Football. This marks the second straight season that Rodgers and the Jets will play in a primetime game in Week 1. His Jets debut last September 11th turned into a season-altering disaster for the Jets as the four-time MVP tore his left Achilles on the 4th snap and missed the remainder of the season. For all the latest news, updates, and hot takes, tune in to LFG with Dave Benz and Jim Kozimor and Matt Fowler, myself, producer and associate producer Bisa, for more talk about people quitting jobs and holding grudges. Now back to LFG.
That's what it is. People quitting jobs and holding grudges. That's the topic. I don't know. I do want to get into the NFL, fellas. As Matt mentioned in the sports update goes, we now know what the first Monday night football game of the season will be. And the 49ers hosting the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers, of course, a Bay Area guy. And going all the way back to when he was drafted and the 49ers taking Alex Smith and Aaron Rodgers sitting in the green room a lot longer than anybody was expecting. And But that story's played out. Aaron Rodgers has been around the NFL for a long time.
And Aaron Rodgers lost a lot against the 49ers,
he
man.
has lost a ton against the 49ers.
For a while there, it was like the yearly butt kicking that he would have to go in there and just had no answers for what the 49ers were doing. And I fear that it might be the same thing on the Monday Night Football. Week 1 is only the one game. It's Week 2 the doubleheader, because don't they usually have an early season Monday Night Football double dip?
No,
they do.
Isn't the first week's a doubleheader? Usually.
Yeah, I usually thought the first week was.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe there'll be a second game that they announce or that they say will happen. But
maybe they moved it this year. Maybe you're right, Coz. I don't know.
And aren't you scratching your head thinking, why would you tempt fate? Last year, the Jets played on Monday Night Football, and 4 plays into it, their TV. Boy, you thought the ratings were good without him. Imagine last year if the Jets would have had Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers goes down with an injury. Why would you tempt fate having him do another Monday night game?
Well, I don't think that he really gets I don't know how many people get a say in that.
No, but if I'm the league, why would I put him there?
Well, you can't. What would literally be the difference between him doing it on?
I don't know. I just don't like to tempt fate. Right?
So Aaron Rodgers. Oh, I got to include postseason on this because I've only got regular season. So let me include postseason.
Sucks against the 49ers.
Aaron Rodgers in his career at San Francisco. His career record is he has played 7 games, and he is 3-4 in 7 career games at San Francisco.
That includes the postseason?
That includes the postseason.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just an annual ass kicking. He looks like a child playing against the varsity. And I like him as a quarterback. Don't get me wrong. I saw him kick the Bears' behinds for, a decade. But you know what? I'm rooting for him to have a good year because I hate seeing guys go out with injuries and miss some time. And quite frankly, I like football. I want to see great players be great. And he's probably down to a year or 2 remaining of the ability to have top-flight football. But if we take a look at some of the games that have been released so far, is that a game that piques your interest? And if it does, for what reason?
Well, I'm a 49er fan, so that game piques
you can't be flipping and flipping. You started as a Redskins fan, right? So stick with the Commanders.
Yeah, but I told you my reasons for vacating my Redskins. It was not weak. It was not weak. It was not weak. It was not.
Why did you get rid of the Redskins?
I got rid of the Redskins because I covered the team and I had to interact with Daniel Snyder, and I saw what a terrible human he was. And then
he doesn't own them anymore.
Well, right, but I've already changed. I'm not going to change back. I'm not going to go back. I've changed my allegiance a decade ago. So, I still and their names the name is terrible. When they brought in Mike Shanahan, it was just, and they brought in Jim Zorn, and they had Jason Campbell as the starting quarterback for a while. It was just an embarrassment. That franchise turned into an embarrassment. The proud franchise that they once were as the Washington Redskins and now the Washington Commanders. And they're a team. What is their NBA and Major League Baseball comp, by the way?
That's got to be in the bottom 3, right?
I don't know if I'd go bottom 3 because there certainly are teams that have struggled more, but I'd say it's the bottom 3rd for sure. I'd say they're their baseball equivalent. I want to say like the Kansas City Royals were
That's
decent,
a good
though.
call. I know they had they had a stretch in the last 10 years where they won a World Series, right? They won in 15.
Yeah, so maybe they're more like the I don't know.
How about how about the Colorado Rockies?
Yeah, that's a good one. They're like the Colorado Rockies, and then their NBA equivalent would be a team that makes the playoffs, but is usually Pistons
makes the play.
Yeah,
Commanders don't make the playoffs though. They haven't made the playoffs in years.
They have. They made it like 2 years ago, and they've usually been like around 500.
They lost to Brady, right? They lost to Brady in the Bucks in the
wild
card round. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
wow.
So they're
I
like
did not know that.
They're like an NBA team that's been like a 500, maybe slightly below 500 over the last decade. I'm kind of trying to think who that would be. Maybe the Utah Jazz. Maybe they're like the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz haven't really been all that good. I mean, they had a couple of decent years with Quinn Snyder. Maybe they're the New Orleans Pelicans. They're the New Orleans Pelicans of the.
They got to be the
NBA.
Sacramento Kings. The Kings have made the playoffs once in 18 years.
Yeah, I think the Cleveland.
They've been
Browns
over
would
500.
be, I think the Cleveland Browns would be more like the Sacramento Kings.
You think?
Yeah.
All right.
Let me ask you guys something. When it comes to football and expectations on great players, it's weird because for the other sports, basketball and baseball, you can say, well, this person doesn't have rings or whatever. And in football, it seems because rings are harder to get, it seems that argument doesn't necessarily hold so well. Where does Aaron Rodgers rank, you think, in terms of? I mean,
Well, he has a ring. He has a
right.
ring.
He has one. He has one.
Yeah.
And
so?
I would think that based on how great he is lauded to be, maybe not now, but historically, he should have had more than one. I mean, he's got plenty.
That's a fair argument. A lot of people think that there are many times the Green Bay Packers had a roster good enough to win the Super Bowl, and they didn't. In fact, one of those times, remember that game again, another loss to the 49ers, was the game in Green Bay where the Packers were a much better team, and the 49ers went in there on a very cold game, and it was a special teams play that turned the game around for San Francisco, and they went up there and won.
Yeah, we were talking about that in Las Vegas for Radio Row. Greg Papa came over and was sitting and talking with us. There's no way the 49ers should have won that game. There's no way.
No, there's no way.
And yet they did.
That game was January 22nd, 2022. 49ers win 13-10.
Yep.
And I
brutally
believe,
cold
and
game.
Brutally cold. They had everything going their way. The Packers had everything going their way in that game, and they couldn't get it done.
They also missed a field goal, though. They also missed a field goal, so special teams was a theme there. But I mean, with Rodgers doing for all his great numbers, you need to win one playoff game. Who were you going to choose? I don't think anybody says Rodgers.
So do we only know the? Yeah, well, I agree. If you only need a one, you're talking like, is this the time machine question? I mean, the answer is Brady. Clearly, right. It's Brady or Montana. I mean,
well, no, but forget about historical for a second. Just put the top quarterbacks in the field, and then put Aaron Rodgers on that same list. I don't think you ever choose Aaron Rodgers in that situation ever.
Are you talking about active quarterbacks? I don't know what the context is. What's your context?
Yeah, well, yes. Right now,
active quarterbacks, you're taking Mahomes. There's no doubt. You're taking Mahomes all day.
Well, I'm just saying in any scenario, in any hypothetical question, I don't think anybody chooses Aaron Rodgers, whether it be historically, current, other Green Bay quarterbacks. I don't think you take Aaron Rodgers.
All right, let me ask you this. There are two other Green Bay quarterbacks, by the way, who you might take ahead of him,
right?
Including the great Bart
Starr.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but you would not. You could make the argument. There are longtime fans who would probably say that. I would say Don Majkowski. That is as for our deep dive. That is our deep dive Green Bay Packer fans.
Hey, I'm going with Doug Peterson or Matt Hasselbeck all day, baby.
Those
all
are
day.
good. Those are good.
Jim McMahon,
Those are good.
The great Jim McMahon. Remember his illustrious Green Bay career.
That's right. He did play there for a part of a year.
He got a ring.
He
got a ring. He was on
that team.
Yes, he was on that team.
He's a two-time Super Bowl winning quarterback.
He's a two-time Super Bowl champion.
All right, here I've got a list. I've got a list of the quarterbacks who won one Super Bowl. Okay, and you tell me where he falls on that list because he's on the list as one of the guys. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
There's Joe Namath, 1-1. Len Dawson with Kansas City, 1-1. Johnny Unitas, the Baltimore Colts, 1-1. Kenny Stabler of your Oakland Raiders. Joe Theismann, whose name was Thiesman until he had a chance to win the Heisman at Notre Dame, and they changed the way he pronounced his last name to Theismann. A great Washington Redskins quarterback. Jim McMahon is on the list. Phil Simms. Doug Williams. Pretty good, right? What's the famous question someone asked Doug Williams? You guys know?
No. What is it?
How long have you been a black quarterback?
Oh, yeah, yes.
That's one of the great questions in Super Bowl Media Day history. Jeff Hostetler, Mark Rippon. You can kind of go over those guys. All right, ready? Steve Young won 1 as a starting quarterback, right? Brett Favre won 1. Kurt Warner, Hall of Famer, won 1. Trent Dilfer, Brad Johnson, Drew Brees won 1. Rodgers, Flacco, Russell Wilson, Nick Foles, Matthew Stafford. All right, so of those, we can kind of pare it down, right?
How many names did you just name?
I would hit like 20, 25. I'd put him out of that list. The ones that I'd put Young in front of him. I'd put.
There are 21 names.
I'd probably put Favre in front of him, but it's close.
Yeah, it's close.
And I'd put Unitas in front of him, even though.
Ooh, good old school.
And that might be the list for me. Oh, and Warner. I'd probably put Warner in front of him.
Let me ask. Ooh, that's a good name. What about Drew Brees?
I don't think I'd put Brees in front of Rodgers, but that's awfully close. They're right there.
That is close. That is close.
Listen, for me, Jim, and you guys are going to think this is blasphemous, and this is not just because I'm a 49ers fan. He's not at the bottom of that list, Rodgers, but he's very close.
No, he's not. He's like top 5 on that list.
I would put almost every name ahead of him. Every name that
you're
you
putting
mentioned.
Len Dawson ahead of him. Nick Foles.
Said almost. I said
Nick
almost.
Foles.
I said
Nick
almost.
And I love. Hey, Trent Dilfer's daughter's renting a house of mine, but Trent Dilfer, you're going to put him below Trent Dilfer?
I said almost.
I know, but we've already named. How about here's a fair one. Wait. Here's a fair one. Russell Wilson.
I would take.
I'd take Rodgers.
Those are two for many.
I'd
Those are
take
two
Rodgers.
unlikable guys, right?
Both of whom, by the way, could still win a second.
Yes, exactly.
So
I'd take Rodgers there. But you said you named 21 names. Okay.
Yeah, I named 21 names.
I would put Aaron Rodgers 16th on that list.
So you're going to take Matthew Stafford over him?
Yes.
Russell Wilson.
No, I said in that. No, I would take Rodgers over Wilson.
Okay. Drew Brees.
Yep, I would take Drew Brees.
Kurt Warner.
Yep.
Favre.
Yep.
Steve Young.
Yep.
Phil Simms.
Yep.
Now I'm not going to ask you about Namath and Len Dawson because you didn't see those guys, so I'm not going to have you do that. Now it gets tricky though. Are you taking Nick Foles over Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Wow.
Are you out of your mind?
Yeah, he is. Are you taking Joe Flacco over Aaron Rodgers?
Are we talking Joe Flacco of 2012?
Joe Flacco who won the Super Bowl.
Yes.
All right.
I think that Matt's delusional on some of these things. Rodgers is a good quarterback.
He's a really good quarterback.
I never said he wasn't a good quarterback.
You're saying he's the bottom of the bunch of that list. That's insanity.
He can't win playoff games to save his life.
He won playoff games. He didn't win the big ones, and he lost to the Packers, so your family gets slandered. By the way, speaking of Green Bay, this got me at first. I was like, what? And then it makes sense to me. It's got to be UW Green Bay.
Yeah, I was going to bring this up.
Doug Gottlieb is going to leave his daily radio show to be the head coach.
No, he's not.
Oh, is he still going to do the show?
He is going to continue to do his national radio show.
Wow, how is that going to work? He's
I know.
going to be the head coach of the UW Green Bay. I'm not going to say it. Do you know the nickname? Do you know
the Phoenix?
Yes,
the
Fightin' Phoenix.
The Fightin' Phoenix.
The Fightin' Phoenix of UW Green Bay.
Yep.
And can you name the only player in franchise or school history that's ever been drafted by an NBA team?
I can. It was a guard, correct?
No.
Oh, I thought it was a left-handed guard.
But the word guard is in his name.
Really?
Yes. Unless they had more than one, if they had another one since then.
Oh, I don't know then.
He was a wing player named Jeff Nordgaard. And
wow.
And he played on the Fightin' Phoenix team that upset Cal in the NCAA tournament when Jason Kidd was playing at Cal.
Wow, that's a great story. That's a great story. I like the little known, because was that your heyday in
That
Green
was
Bay?
while I was in Green Bay. So when the Packers were, that was it was running concurrently with the Packers, and the Favre era was the fact that Green Bay had a decent college basketball team coached by Dick Bennett, who then cashed that in to go coach actually at Wisconsin in Madison.
Yeah. It took a while because he was very successful at Green Bay. He was there for many years, right?
Yeah, and then, of course, his son, Tony Bennett, has been at Virginia for
great
years.
Singer. Great.
Tony,
and won an NCAA title.
And Tony played at Green Bay for his father before he became a coach.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't know, maybe did Tony get drafted in the NBA? I don't think he did.
I don't know, but he was the team Tony Bennett was on, I believe, had a big upset when they were in the tournament.
That's
and
possible.
That was one of the things. Now, you had quite a run in Green Bay. I mean, you had a lot of good things going on at that time.
I've got to tell you sometime the Pat Knight story, because Pat Knight was the head coach of the Green Bay. Actually, they were called the Wisconsin Blast. It was the minor league basketball team, and I was their play-by-play guy. And I went on some of the road trips, and the Pat Knight story.
What league was that?
The International Basketball League. It was international because there were a couple of teams that were just across the border in Canada. It was the IBL.
Was that the 6'4" and under league?
No, it was legit. It was a legit league with bigs, although it was kind of an S show, if you know what I mean. But it was.
Yes, I do.
And Pat, it was Pat's first job coaching, and the stories that I have with Pat are not suitable for air. But I will tell you them at some point, and it was wow. It was wow.
Really?
Yeah, we had some fun, but man, there were some crazy things that happened with that team in that league, and I'll have to tell you about those some other time. All right.
So I'm doing a deep dive right now. I'm doing a deep dive because you mentioned it. So I looked up Jeff Nordgaard. This is impressive. Okay, he played for the Milwaukee Bucks in '97.
Yeah, he got drafted by the Bucks.
Right. He retired in 2009. Between 97 and 2009, the Milwaukee Bucks were the only NBA team he played for. All the other teams for another 12 years straight were overseas teams or ABA teams. I mean, usually at some point you just quit. But
no, you're if you got international teams, their money's green too, Matt.
Yeah.
And some of those leagues are great, man. There's leagues in the Philippines. There's leagues in Fiji. I met a guy who was an assistant coach. He was a volunteer assistant coach with one of the small schools that San Jose State played this year. And he's like, I'm leaving in a week. I'm going to meet my team in Fiji for my season. That's
awesome.
It's like he probably wasn't making very much money, but. Go live in Fiji for 3 months and get paid $100,000 to go play basketball 3 times a week. That's pretty good living.
It's not bad.
The last team that he played for was AZS Koszalin, which is a Polish basketball team based in Koszalin.
How do you spell that, Koszalin?
I'm gonna guess that's not how it's pronounced either.
Koszalin, and it's the second tier. It's Liga, the second tier of the Polish basketball league.
I love how we go from talking about the NFL schedule to Jeff Nordgaard. our stream of consciousness is awesome on this show. All right, we're due for a top of the hour break. When we come back, we should talk a little more NFL. Guys, I do want to get your thoughts on the schedule release and and also the Jared Goff news is big news. It is Tuesday. We have trivia.
Plus full blown coverage of the WNBA's opener tonight. So we'll have that between now
wall to wall.
And Coz, I need a 2-minute minor, Coz. I need a 2-minute minor. So
a big player missing in the series, a big player missing in a big series in a must-win situation.
We got a lot we got to get to. Hour 2 of LFG coming your way after this quick timeout.
Meet Jack Torrance.
I'm outlining a new writing project.
He's a writer looking for inspiration.
Lots of ideas. no good ones.
Meet Danny. He's a kid looking for a dad.
There's hardly anybody to play with around here.
What's up, Doc?
Jack just can't finish his book.
I don't want to sound melodramatic, but there's no way to make it economically feasible.
Here's to 5 miserable months.
But now, sometimes what we need the most is just around the corner.
I am your new foster father.
I'd do anything.
Climbing up on Salisbury Hill,
I love it.
I could see the city light. My heart going boom, boom, boom. Son, he said, grab your things, I've come to take you home.
Shiny.
In a city of 8 million people, it's not easy to find the one, your soulmate, somebody to spend the rest of your life with.
Yeah, that's what happened. No, I got invited or anything.
What was that?
Nothing.
You mumbled something.
No, I didn't.
Coming this summer, it's the movie about nothing.
Hey, Jerry, Dick Corcoran, president of France.
I know who you are.
Idiot. Serenity now!
You'll get fired! Then what are you gonna do? Move back home?
Join Jerry,
I'm hungry. Are you hungry?
Just a salad. Just a salad.
George,
I think you mean it.
I do.
Here's my coat.
Take it.
2 sleeves.
Put it on.
I'm gone.
I'm going home using my own toilet. No judgment.
Elaine,
I'm here because I was wondering if you might be interested in this.
and Kramer
You're all hopped up on the caffeine.
on an unforgettable adventure.
What the rules? Come on, jackass! Mom! We're not gay.
So I'm coming out of the closet.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm Cosmo Kramer, the Yes Man.
This is super awkward.
I call him Golden Boy.
Yellow? Seriously, yellow. I don't have a boyfriend. I have lots of boyfriends. Ask around.
They're all back for one last wild ride.
Why do they call it Ovaltine? Don't you drag me into this.
Wear the same shirt, we'll look like idiots. Please, Mr. Willow, you gotta listen to me.
Hey, I'm just a fan.
It's the Brawless Wonder.
Nothing for you. Told you to put the bomb on. You very, very bad man.
You're an anti-dentist.
I can hurt you.
Oh, Susan.
Every single girlfriend is back.
You call me Schmoopy, you're Schmoopy.
She had man hair.
And yada, 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 I'm really tired today. She's a two-face.
I don't have a swear to spare.
I hate you.
You're horrible, horrible.
Marissa Tomei.
Mulder. A gymnast, Jerry. She's one of these low talkers. You can't hear a word she's saying.
They should sleep together, you idiots, not sleep together.
George dating a lady Jerry.
And of course,
They're real and they're spectacular.
it's Seinfeld, the movie. Coming soon.
Hello, Newman.
Live from the Tickscape Studios. Let's f***ing go.
Back here at LFG, Hour 2, Tuesday edition. We'll get to the Trivia Tuesday. We've got a 2-minute minor. We've got the NFL schedule release. A lot to get to. Have you guys seen the Frosted movie yet? The Jerry Seinfeld movie on Netflix? Have you guys watched that yet?
I've seen part of it. I'm about a half hour into it.
Is it good?
Yeah, a half hour or so into it.
Is it good?
Yeah, it's interesting. It's nice, light. You know what it is? It's empty calories.
Just like a Pop-Tart?
You know,
Just like Pop
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's it's fun and it's nice and it's a little bit clever and but it's got that air to it. So yes, I would call it exactly what the name is. It's empty calories, but fun.
Speaking of, some people would call empty calories, the WNBA which is going to be coming back tonight.
Wow, that's a shot at. Is that a body image shot?
No, I'm just talking about that's people.
That's sexist and
No.
weightist.
Some people like
Sexist
it as a
and
guilty
weightist,
pleasure.
all in one.
No,
Okay.
Some people like
Yeah,
it
it
as
is
a
body
guilty
shaming,
pleasure.
Matt. I think it is.
By the way, how
Go
about the
ahead.
fact the WNBA season is already going and Caitlin Clark just finished the NCAA tournament like less than a month ago, right? So that's
I know.
And she is playing tonight. She is going to make her regular season debut. The Indiana Fever taking on the Connecticut Sun. And do we want to get Bisa to get a poll question up about this, Coz? We talked about this on the call. Bisa,
Yes.
we'd love a poll question for the rest of the day. We can check the results tomorrow or at the end of the show. Will you watch Caitlin Clark's WNBA debut tonight as the Indiana Fever take on the Connecticut Sun? Will you be watching the Indiana Fever as they take on the Connecticut Sun? That is at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. I believe it is 1:30 Hawaii time. I'm going to say the Hawaii audience is not going to be large for that.
I'll be going to Hawaii soon, so I have to get used to that time shift.
Oh, Coz, can I just jump in your suitcase? I'll make myself.
Or
really
you can get on
small.
a plane. You know, you're a big boy. You can get on a plane. You don't have to jump into my suitcase like some weird fetish. You know?
Yeah, you could just buy a ticket.
No.
By the way, speaking of buying tickets and comedy and all that, I do want to get back to the WNBA quick. But Coach,
that's a good one too.
You teased earlier the comedy thing. What's your update on that for tomorrow night?
As some people might know, I know Matt, this is his candidate for president. RFK Jr. is holding a comedy night in Nashville Wednesday evening at the Ryman Theater, which is one of the most storied auditoriums in all of music history. And some of the biggest names in comedy are going to be there, including Rob Schneider, Jim Brewer, and Russell Brand. So my wife and I, once our show is done today, I will be going downstairs. My wife and I will be purchasing 2 tickets to go and see the comedy show. We might get there late. My daughter has her track and field banquet, but it's about 20 to 25 minutes outside of where the auditorium is. We'll go to the banquet. When we're done with the banquet, my daughter will drive home. We will drive to the comedy show. And, Matt, I promise I will try to get a picture with Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
That is
Please
awesome.
do.
And Matt, don't forget, you're going to owe me 100 sandwiches when he doesn't win the presidency. That,
all right.
that is on
Well,
record.
we'll.
All right,
we'll see.
so Caitlin Clark, Coz, are you going to watch tonight?
I will tell you that I will not be watching, and I could not tell you where I could watch that game. And at one time, I held the record for the human being who had seen the most WNBA games ever through the first 10 years of the league. I had set that record.
I don't doubt that. That's an impressive record to have, as you were calling WNBA games.
Yes, I was. And every one of my teams made the playoffs, and 3 of them won championships. So I was going to the maximum amount of games that you could possibly go to, and no one else in the league had that.
Well, you got to see Cheryl Swoops, though. That was, I think she doesn't get enough credit for how great she really was.
No. And we almost didn't get to see it because her first year she was pregnant, actually. And so she played part of that first year. But she's one of the greats. Cynthia Cooper's one of the greats. Tina Thompson, former USC Trojan, one of the greats. The league did have amazing talent. But I will maintain that those players, I think, are better than the ones we see in today's women's game.
That may be true, although Caitlin Clark is trying to rewrite that narrative, and tonight she will be. Matt Fowler's going to be dialed in, and I think you actually are going to watch, aren't you, Matt?
I will watch for probably a quarter at least.
Because you're hot for teacher, right? Because you got a little thing
he's got a crush.
I do.
By the way, can we break the other news, Matt? Can we break your personal news? No, we're not breaking personal news.
Yeah, break your news.
No, let's not do that. No.
I don't even know that news.
But I do. I'll tell you in the commercial break. But I do have a crush on Caitlin Clark. Yeah. So
yeah.
If I ever get a chance to get a picture with Caitlin Clark, I will definitely jump at the opportunity.
You know what? You got a chance now because you live in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Who now has a WNBA team.
Don't tell me you're not going to be a season ticket holder for the Golden State Valkyrie. Huh?
If I'm not doing their radio broadcast, then I'll maybe think about it.
Are you gonna get a T-shirt that says "I love V's"? Is that what you're gonna have?
Yeah, you know what? That is what I'm gonna have.
And you're gonna go to the game?
This was our topic, by the way, this morning. So it's the Valkyries, right? And
Yes. That's their name, team name.
I mean, yeah. So the Valkyries. What is their shortened name going to be? When people are reading the highlights, if you're working at KCBS TV here in San Francisco and you're showing the Valkyries.
Let's get Vern Glenn on. I'm going to get Vern Glenn on, and we're going to do that. I
show
was texting with Vern just the other day.
I think it's going to be the Valks. I think they're going to be the Valks.
The Valks is fine. That's totally fine.
Yeah,
I think they're going to be the V's,
Coast.
just like the Warriors are the Dubs.
They're not going to be
the
V's,
Warriors.
Coast.
Listen to me, Matt. Matt, listen to me. The Warriors are the Dubs. The Valkyries are the V's. I'm just telling you.
It's
right?
it's not that unthinkable that they could market it that way because the V and the W go together.
Look at their logo. Their logo is a giant V.
And they're going to get VW, the car manufacturer, to sponsor the organization.
How can you not? Right? Peninsula VW.
Yeah.
VW
of
Mountain View.
Yeah,
whatever it is.
I know.
But they're going to play at the Chase Center.
But I will say personally, if I was working at KCBS showing their highlights, I'd probably say the Valks. I don't know that I'd be saying the
I think there's a chance if I was doing Chronicle Live and I was doing a highlight package, I think I might slip in there that they're the V's. I just might do that.
So the WNBA is expanding, and Toronto is also bringing a team. Is that correct? And that's going to be next season in 2025?
2025, the V's will start, the Golden State V's, the Valkyries. And then in 2026, the Toronto, and they have yet to be named, they will get going. The colors for the Valkyries will be kind of a purplish hue, and their logo is quite unique. Have you seen the logo?
No, I have not.
You got to look at it. You got to check out the logo. It's quite unique. It's the Bay Bridge kind of extended, and
are they the San Francisco? Or are they the what?
No, Golden State. Golden State Valkyries.
Golden State Valkyries. Are they owned
like
by the
like
Warriors? Do we know? Are they owned by the Warriors ownership group?
Yes, they are.
They are. Yeah. Which is why I don't think that Joe Lacob and Peter Guber are going to market them as the V's. I don't think.
Well, take a look at the logo.
Okay, I
It's a
see the
giant
logo.
V.
I don't see a. Yeah, it is a V. You're right. It is kind of a V. It's like a V with a. I guess it's kind of the bridge. I don't know. It's it's like a road. Yeah. Anyway, so they're coming in.
It's a little suggestive.
WNBA continues to expand. Caitlin Clark tonight. That is a big deal. But tomorrow night, Coase, tomorrow night is the TV viewing event of the month of May. And that's saying something because we've already had a month in which we've had the Kentucky Derby, which is, we know, a TV viewing event here domestically that gets a lot of ratings. But tomorrow night is the NFL schedule release, and you gotta tip your cap to the NFL because they continue to put an event that is a non-event and make it something that people are going to watch.
Can I Can I go back one before we finish that thought? What will get a higher rating? Caitlin Clark's opening WNBA game or the Pacers-Knicks game in Indiana?
Ooh.
Which in Indiana will get the higher rating?
Pacers,
because
Knicks.
When New York
Pacers,
is
and they're going against each other, right? Aren't they?
Yeah,
playing
they're going
at the same time.
Yeah, pretty much. The women's game starts a half hour before the men's game.
So people will watch the women's game until the men's game starts.
Okay. Are you sure? Because honestly, you could argue that you don't have to see the NBA until the fourth quarter.
Well,
you can argue that.
Yeah, but it's a playoff game, Coase.
All right.
It's
all
a
right.
playoff game.
But this is history. Caitlin Clark.
I want to see, the 2024 version of Spike Lee versus somebody on the Pacers.
I'm over. Spike Lee's they got to move him to like row 6.
So
his act is old.
What gets a bigger rating number, Caitlin Clark's debut or the NFL schedule release tomorrow night?
Oh, God.
It would be Caitlin Clark because the NFL schedule release is going to be on the NFL Network, which is in fewer homes. So they're just it's smaller sample size of an opportunity to see it. Whereas Caitlin Clark's, I don't even know what channel she's on. Is she on The Deuce? Is she on ESPN? ABC?
She's on ESPN and ABC tonight. Yeah.
ABC? They're putting it on ABC?
Is it on
If they're
ABC?
putting it on ABC, I'm not kidding. If they're putting it on ABC,
I saw ESPN2/ABC.
if it's on ABC, it's got a chance to outdraw
I doubt
Knicks
it's on
Pacers.
ABC. There's no way it's on ABC.
All right.
I mean, I guess I can't say there's no way. I mean, there certainly is a way, but I'd be really surprised if it's on ABC.
That would be something.
Let's see. Looking at it.
All I know is my man Ryan Rucco is probably on the call. That's my guess. Who's going to be calling that game? Ryan Rucco.
Okay, I thought.
Oh, Bisa's saying it's on Disney Plus also.
Yeah, ESPN2, Disney Plus, ESPN Plus.
There you go. So not
Okay, so it's on the Deuce.
All right, my bad. It's not on ABC. My bad. But
It's not even on ESPN. It's on the Deuce.
So listen. Let me. I have a request. We're talking about this NFL schedule release, and Dave's saying that it's another event that the NFL has that's not it's not an actual sporting event. Please, somebody punch me in the face as hard as possible, please. I am sick of this.
I'm there. Here I come.
I am absolutely sick of it.
What are you sick of?
I'm sick of this idea. Oh my God, we're going to these people sitting up at a desk announcing things, or people shaking the hand of the commission. I don't care. Why is this television? Why does it matter?
You don't want to know
ratings. They're just trying
what
to
your
get
team
ratings.
is doing. You don't think this is an enormous event in the league?
I am
because you're not. You're not a fan of the sport. You're a fan of the logo of the Niners.
No,
they could go out there against. They could go. Then you should care about what's going on in the league.
No, Jim. You know
what I'm gonna do? No. What?
Jim, you know what I'm going to do? I am going to. The schedule release is tomorrow, right?
Yes.
So when the schedule comes out, I'm going to get an alert on my phone that says the 49ers schedule's out. I'm going to click that. I'm going to see what the schedule is. That's what I'm going to do.
Then you're not a fan.
Well,
you got to know what's going on. When are they on the? How many primetime games do they have?
I just can't wait.
That's all going to be in the release that they send to my phone.
I just can't wait for Thursday when we can go through win-loss, 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 and then save those predictions and see how poor we were
Totally
at
love
it.
Yep.
You always get it wrong.
I'm down for that.
You always get it wrong. But because I don't know about you, but it's not as big of a deal to other people. But when you were calling games, how big was it when you finally got a look at the NBA schedule?
It was
and you
the
had an
biggest thing
idea,
in the world.
and you knew what your life was going to look like because
It was
it's
exactly. That's a lot of it. Is that you start to organize your life.
Well, that's different. If you're a play-by-play guy in the NBA, obviously that's different.
Or any league. I mean, I just think knowing the schedule, finding out what the league, who does the league think is going to be marquee worthy. So we already know the first 2 weeks, the Kansas City Chiefs are home, and both are marquee matchups, right?
Both Super
are gonna
Bowl
be
participants are home on national TV the first week. So, but we don't know who the Sunday night game is, right? Because the Ravens and the Chiefs will be a Thursday night game because they always open on a Thursday. So there's going to be a Sunday night game as well, and we don't know who that's going to be yet.
No, we don't unless they decide to leak it beforehand. But I just think it's a fun event. I like to see what's going on. I like to see where I have a number of teams I cheer for. So I like to see like where my teams are going to be. I like to see, I live in Tennessee. What teams are coming? Maybe I want to go to one of those games. Do I want to go up to Chicago and see one of those games? Probably not. Would I go see my team on the road? Maybe. Is there a weekend when someone good is coming to New Orleans? That's not very far from where I live. So my guess is you guys don't attend a lot of sporting events, correct? You guys probably don't go to a lot of them.
I mean, I don't know about that. I've been to a number of Niners games the last couple of years, but it's such a haul from Marin down to Santa Clara. It's kind of a travesty that they're not in San Francisco.
I will say the number of NFL games that I've been to, I can count on one hand. I have not been to many NFL games. It's a sport that's made for TV. But I've been to a lot of NBA games, and I've been to a lot of Giants games. So
Have you?
Yeah.
So, Coz, you get an idea what games you want to look at, what games you want to think about attending, and what do you want to take a road trip, and you know, if your team is going to Vegas, I mean, you know, if you're in Detroit, you're playing Vegas. So I do want to shift it to Detroit, by the way, because the big news yesterday, Jared Goff absolutely getting paid. They open up the vault.
He's getting a bag. Dave, that's what they said. Kids are saying he's getting a bag.
He's getting a bag of money. He's getting the cash register and the money along with it. 200. What was the final number? 220 million for 4 years, or 212?
I think 212.
212.
Average of 53 million a year. Now I don't know how much of that is guaranteed money because the NFL contracts are always slippery that way. But that is something that we can easily find.
So if Jared Goff is getting 212. And Matt Fowler's ears are going to perk up. What is the number that the 49ers are going to have to put on the table for Brock Purdy? Because Jared Goff hasn't done really anything more than Brock Purdy has.
I would say he would. Right now, I think it's fair to say that Jared Goff, who has gotten to a Super Bowl and lost with the Rams, has shown a lot more than Brock Purdy in his time in the NFL. They've had different amounts of time in the NFL. I'm not saying I would have paid Goff this money, but there is no way Brock Purdy approaches a 4-year, $212 million.
He probably does get 40, Coz. He probably gets 40.
Do you hear that sound? Do you hear that sound? That's the sound of the Brinks truck. That's the sound of the Brinks truck backing up to Jared Goff.
So, and again, Coz, I wouldn't have given Goff this money. I mean, I
with
think
20
Goff
to
is
25
nice.
million a year.
Is Goff that good? Is Goff that good that
I
you
don't
would pay that
well,
much?
you know what? Yeah, I'll tell you something. He was that good last year, and he was that good the year before.
You have to pay Brock Purdy now. You have to pay him.
I know, and you're going to pay him
on that level. You have to pay him.
No, you don't.
That level. Yes, you do.
No, you don't. Why? Explain why.
What has Jared Goff done?
Had a longer body of work of success.
Has he won a Super Bowl?
Then,
okay, 2 years ago. 2 years ago, when the Lions, 2 years ago when the Lions were in 2022, the Lions were. Where are they? 2 years ago, the Lions were 9-8. Okay.
Right. And they got screwed by an official's call. They should have made the playoffs that year.
Okay. That's an argument for another time. But they were 9-8 because they were 9-8 playing a last place schedule because the previous year they were 3-11. So they were playing all the other last place teams and they were 9-8.
That's pretty good.
That's
pretty good. Yeah.
Last year they played a second place schedule. And they were 12-5, and they won the division. So my question for you is, this year they are going to have to play all the division winners. They're going to play Dallas. They're going to. I don't know what their schedule is, but I know they're going to play the division winners. They're going to play a first place schedule. They're going to play Dallas. They're going to play Tampa Bay. They're going to play the 49ers. And then you're looking at. Do you play all the division winners? Does it cross division as well? Because with the 17 weeks, I don't know if it does now. But if it does, then that means the Chiefs, the Texans, the Ravens, and the Bills are on their schedule. That is that is going to be a tough road for them to travel.
Hold on, we'll do this.
Wait, Dave. So hang on, I maybe I'm just missing something here. Is you said first place schedule, last place schedule, second place schedule? Was that in strength of schedule in terms of
you are slotted to play based upon your schedule. So if you finish in last place in your division the year before, you play all the last place teams in your conference. Those are your conference games outside of the division are all against the teams that finished in the same position as you in their division. So
I did not know that. I did not know that they did that.
You never knew that? When they talk about playing the first place schedule, that's what it is. So the Lions.
I've heard of strength of schedule, and I've heard that analyzed a million times.
You play so you have to play the first place schedule if you win the division. So they're going to play the other division winners, and that is going to be. Yeah. I don't know if the Lions are 12-5, and their division is they're going to have to play the Packers twice. I think that. The Vikings are probably the worst team in that division, but I think the Bears are a team that are going to surprise some people and win a couple of games. I mean, are they so they're going to play 6 division games I mean, they probably go 3-3, 4-2 in their division, and then they've got to play the other division winners. They probably lose 2 of those, so they're it's getting to 12-5 again this year is going to be hard.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the other division winners, and we're talking about in the NFC, correct?
Correct.
All right, so Tampa is one of them, right?
Correct. And depending where that game
afraid?
is, they lost. They beat Tampa in the playoffs.
That game's going to be in Detroit. They beat Tampa in the playoffs. They're better than Tampa, and I can't say Tampa's better right now than they were at the end of last season, so that doesn't scare me. Another first place team from the NFC would be the Cowboys. They have to go to Dallas to beat the Cowboys. Do you think the Dallas Cowboys are a better team? Green Bay went down there in the playoffs and took it to them. And Detroit took it to Green Bay in the regular season. Now, I'm not saying that you should immediately equate that, but have the Dallas Cowboys added any pieces that would make you feel like they're a lot better? If anything, they've lost pieces. So I take the Lions in that matchup. And then the Lions and the 49ers, and I'll tell you that game is going to be at Levi's Stadium. If I'm the Detroit Lions, I think that I outplayed the San Francisco 49ers last year, and I should have gone to the Super Bowl representing the NFC. I'll take my chances. I'll go there. I'll take exactly.
How do you like the Lions at Houston? They do have to play the Texans, who won their division. They also have to play the Buffalo Bills at home
at Ford Field. Yeah, those are tough games. That's what good teams have to play, tough games. They went to Kansas City on opening night last year and won against the defending Super Bowl champions.
By the way, the Lions maybe I'd put them in the running, Coase, for that first week Sunday night game.
I don't disagree with you.
Maybe you go straight up division with Lions Packers. Maybe you go Lions playing the maybe you go Lions meeting the Tampa Bay Bucks again. Maybe you go Lions Cowboys. That might be the game. That's my bold predictions. Lions Cowboys will be the week 1 Sunday night game.
No, because remember the Cowboys are going to open up the season in Cleveland against the Browns in Tom Brady's first game.
That's right. Okay, that's been announced. All right, you're right. All right.
Now let me tell you what I wouldn't be surprised seeing. I would not be surprised to see the Detroit Lions take on Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears.
There you go.
In week 1, you got the number 1 overall draft pick starting quarterback for the Bears, the rookie sensation supposedly, and the upstart Bears going up against a team that a lot of people think might be the team to beat in the NFC this coming season, even though I think it's the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, it'll be interesting. Tomorrow night we will all find out the NFL schedule. All right, guys, let's take one last break. When we come back, I want to hit the NHL quick with Coze's 2-minute minor, and then we need to get into Trivia Tuesday with Bisa. Bisa always coming up big with us on Tuesdays for a Trivia Tuesday thing. So that's all ahead. We will roll on. Final segment of LFG coming up after this quick timeout.
Winthrop is a very steady young man. We're lucky to have him managing our firm for us.
Hogwash. He's the product of good environment.
It's got nothing to do with environment. With his genes, you can put Winthrop anywhere and he's going to come out on top.
You have a history of juvenile arrests, I presume. Drug abuse, reform school, state prisons, and all that.
I ain't talking to this guy. I want a lawyer.
Given the right surroundings and encouragement, I'll bet that man could run our company as well as your young Winthrop. He lost his job, and his home, and his fiancée, and his friends. If he were somehow arrested by the police and thrown in jail.
That's not mine. I've never seen that before in my life.
Yes, I'm sure he'd take to crime like a fish to water.
I'm Cash Saroy, and this is the Collectible Network, the world's first streaming network devoted to sports cards and collectible content of all kinds.
You're live on the Collectible Network.
Have you ever been in a sports card break? Try it. It's easy. Win an online auction for your team, then watch our live stream on Twitch or YouTube, and all of the cards from the team you won get shipped to you the next day. You're amazing.
Thank you for subscribing.
Follow the Collectible Network on social media right now. The Collectible Network, where you are, we are. This is One of One.
It's the bottom of the hour, or close enough. Time for your Tickscape Studios sports update with Matt Fowler.
The LA Lakers are expected to start contacting coaching candidates in the coming days with an initial concentration on sitting assistants and ex-head coaches with whom they have less familiarity. Lakers VP of Basketball Operations and GM Rod Pelinka has been gathering information on a number of head coaching candidates, including ESPN analyst J.J. Redick, say that 5 times fast. The initial wave of requests for interview permission will be with those the organization hasn't met with in previous searches or simply knows less than other candidates. For all the latest news, updates, and hot takes, tune in to LFG with Dave Bench, Jim Kozimar, and myself, Matt Fowler, and our associate producer, Bisa. Now back to this crazy little thing we call LFG.
ESPN analyst J.J. Redick, ESPN analyst J.J. Redick, ESPN analyst J.J. Redick, ESPN analyst J.J. Redick, ESPN analyst J.J. Redick.
Shut up.
Yeah. What's going on there?
Oh, man. It's hard.
It's Tuesday. We're going to bring Bisa in very soon for our Trivia Tuesday. But before we get to that, I need to cue up my NHL music before we get to this, though, because I need my fix, Coz. This is like this is my daily fix that I need. The NHL 2-minute minor, the update of all things going on in the hunt for Lord Stanley's Cup. Jim Kozimar, what is the latest?
Oh, man, we have got 2 epic battles tonight. One team can be eliminated, and that team is without their captain and star. The Florida Panthers, leading 3-1, host the Boston Bruins, and the Bruins will be without Brad Marchand, who is injured with an upper body injury, but he's also an S disturber, and so him being out is really going to hurt the Boston Bruins. They need to win to go back home for Game 6. That's only one of the exciting thrillers that is going on. The other one, a battle of 2 Canadian teams, a battle of 2 provinces. It's British Columbia going up against Alberta. Who is going to win? Well, we know this. Vancouver is going to be without defenseman Carson Saucy. Why? Because he cross-checked Connor McDavid in the face in Game 3, and so he ain't playing here in Game 4 with Vancouver up 2-1. If you're going to penalize someone, you penalize by getting them right in the mush. And that's exactly what Saucy did. So you got 2 games tonight. You've got the greatest player in the game, Connor McDavid, so you got a thrill factor in the second game. You got a battle of Alberta versus British Columbia, and then you've got the other one in the States where an original 6 team in Boston can get eliminated tonight by an upstart Florida Panthers team. 2 thrilling games in the NHL tonight.
Coz, as of now, if you were going to handicap it, who are we looking at in the Stanley Cup Finals?
You want me to go all the way to the Stanley Cup Finals. All right, I'll tell you what. I would say, oh, man, that's a tough one. I might say Dallas in the West because I like Colorado, but they just lost an important player who had an unfortunate incident. He had an off-the-ice issue.
And they're down 3-1, so that's
yeah, and that's part of it. That an hour before game time, one of their regular players, a Russian player, failed the drug test, and then he's suspended for 6 months. It's like a stage 3 violation of a drug issue. So I like Dallas in the West. Vancouver, if they could get good goaltending play, might be able to push them, but I've got Dallas in one final. And in the other final, oh, man, it might be Florida. A lot of people think Florida's just thinking the best team going. And so, although a lot of people like the Rangers won the President's Trophy during the regular season, and that's the team with the most points, best record in the regular season. The league would clearly want the Rangers. The Hurricanes pushed them to a Game 5 after a win last night. I'll tell you what, Dave, I'm going to go Rangers and Dallas Stars in your NHL Stanley Cup final.
I would take that, but would the league like it if it was New York, Vancouver?
No.
No, they
No,
wouldn't want.
even
They don't
though-
want a Canadian team in there.
And it's the last time the Rangers won the Stanley Cup was they beat the Vancouver Canucks.
With Pavel Bure.
So, exactly. Look at you. Who ended up marrying who? Do you know who?
A supermodel. Who was it?
It was the daughter from one of those family movies, TV shows with Alan Thicke. Robin Thicke's dad was was Mr. Seaver or something like that. What was the name of that show?
Oh gosh, I know. And the lead kid was like Michael something. Yeah.
Anyway, that's his wife. His wife ends up. I think that's his wife. Anyway, but Pavel Bure was on that team, and they lost. Was that a Game 7?
I believe it was.
When Stefan Matteau with a game winner for the Rangers. That's the last time they won the Stanley Cup. I wouldn't mind that. I would like Vancouver against them. I don't think the NHL wants a Canadian team in it, though.
Well, it would be it'll be fun if the Stars get in, because I may have to make another return trip to Casa.
Oh, you got to.
And,
you got to.
And go check
to.
that out. By the way, it would kill me though, because Coz, amongst my many ideas, I'm going to give this one out.
Yeah.
I may have told you this before. Last fall, it was right before I came up with the idea for Tickscape. And I shelved this idea because Tickscape I thought was better long term, and I've been all in on it. But I had an idea for doing a docu-series called The Arena, where basically you would go, it would be like a Netflix series. You go to an arena, you pick an arena, and you go to the arena every single day for a year. And I thought, like Madison Square Garden, Crypto.com, formerly Staples, and, T-Mobile Arena in Vegas would be a great place to do it. But I thought Dallas would be the great test tube place to do it, because the Stars and the Mavs are both good. You had Mark Cuban as the owner of the Mavs, and he's obviously a draw. And you can get a place to live. You basically have to embed yourself in that city and that arena. And you could get a place to live in Dallas that's not that far from the AAC, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. And you can also, not that I'm anti-union in any way, but just in terms of cost to get this done, New York, LA, you're going to have to hire all union people. Dallas, you could hire non-union people, so your cost of doing it that first season would be a little bit cheaper. So then
you are anti-union.
No, I'm not anti-union. I'm pro-union, but I can't afford a union. That's the difference.
Okay.
So, if I'm coming out of my own pocket for this, I got to figure out what's the road to doing it the most economically.
All right.
So the reality of that is that Dallas, there were a lot of reasons to do that. So if the Stars and the Mavs were both to make the finals in their leagues, that would be like, oh, we really should have done that show. And Cuban sold the team in the middle of the season. And that would have been pretty good. I mean, think about it. Just go to the arena every day and focus on the guy who's parking the cars. He parks the cars for the Stars. He parks the cars for the Mavs. He parks the car for Drake when he shows up to do his concert. That'd be pretty good to show the life cycle of an arena.
All right. I'm not against it. There are a lot less interesting ideas, that's for sure. So you're right, though. It has to be an arena with two teams, because
the one
there's more
exception would
activity.
be T-Mobile. T-Mobile only has one team, but they've got UFC and boxing and all that other stuff going on constantly. So T-Mobile would be pretty interesting in Vegas as well. Anyway, so the NHL. So you're going Stars Rangers. I'd be good with that. I mean, the Panthers, a Panthers Rangers final in the East would be great. Canucks Oilers. So does all of Canada get behind whichever team wins the Canucks Oilers series?
They're certainly more interested. Generally, say a Flames fan is not going to root for the Oilers or root for the Canucks, but with their Canadian heritage, they would have a greater interest of watching that. And they do feel some pride if a Canadian team goes deep, or, God, I think it's been 36 years since a Canadian team has won a Stanley Cup. I think that there would be some celebrating throughout the provinces. In Newfoundland, in your PEIs, your Prince Edward's Islands, name your, in a Labrador. How about a little Labrador love for my people up in the Northeast?
Yeah, you've been through much more Canada than me. I've been to Montreal, Toronto. Yeah. I think that's about it. Oh, I was in British Columbia, wherever the cruise ship stopped when I did the Alaska, but it was not Vancouver.
You guys are weird.
No?
Why are we weird?
How is that weird to understand and know different,
Geography
different
of Canada.
places, different cultures? Yes.
I don't know.
Anyway, all right. So
Because you think there's only one thing. You think that there's only Northern California, and nothing outside of that matters.
No, that's not
like
true.
most Northern Californians.
No, that's not true. Although I did see a meme. It said, "How do you know somebody's from Northern California?" They'll tell you. That's how you know.
That's it. I think that's also the Stanford joke. How do you know someone went to Stanford?
They'll tell
They'll
you.
let you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they'll tell you.
Anyway, all right. So we've got the our tweet actually is getting some run, by the way, about the WNBA. I don't see a poll question though. I just see Bisa put out that will you be watching? We don't have any responses to the actual thing, but we have had some traction on the tweet. So if you're gonna watch tonight. 959 call LFG. We still have time, but let's bring Bisa in because we are getting late in the show, and it is Tuesday. And Tuesday is the day that we have our Trivia Tuesday segment. Bisa comes up with a trivia question for all of us to partake in. You can play along at home. I have no idea what the topic is going to be today, and whether or not. But I did talk with Bisa prior to the show, and she said yes, I have a question. So here we go. Bisa, welcome to the show today.
I was looking for the newer poll question because I saw so far we had like almost 10, if not more.
Wait, so there is a poll question up? I didn't see it. I typed LFG. I didn't see it.
You guys are tagged in it.
Okay, let me check my mentions here.
Yeah, I don't even know what any of those sentences mean, but.
Okay, here we go. Yeah, I got it. All right. So yeah. All right. So the options are: will you be watching her tonight with the Indiana Fever? Yes, no, or only during March Madness. So we have 11 votes, and we have 91% saying yes. So a lot of our audience is going to be watching tonight.
Oh, I'm going to wear my WNBA championship ring in honor of it.
All right.
One of my three WNBA championship
Do you have those
rings.
next year Emmys? Are those next year Emmys?
Oh, that's a funny thing that you say because I shouldn't I? Let me see if I've got them. I've got the signed basketballs from the first 2 years.
Just send Licorice to retrieve them for you.
It's not a bad idea, actually.
That would be impressive if you were like, hey, Licorice, tiramisu, go grab those rings.
Yeah, I know. I know.
That would be really impressive.
That's a win.
We do need to see those rings at some point. But right now we need to get to our trivia question today. Bisa with Trivia Tuesday. Bisa, what do we got today?
So in honor of everything we were talking about earlier in the show, I'm wanting the top 15 rock bands of all time.
Wow. See, this is another subjective question. Is this an opinion poll or is this based upon like sales?
It's from Forbes, so I'm leaning towards sales.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So top
Business
15
magazine.
generating rock bands of all time.
Yeah.
Coach, you want to go first?
Well, revenue generators, I'm hoping it's full body of work. The Rolling Stones have got to be on the list.
They are number 6.
Wow.
Yeah.
I thought they would have been so much higher than that.
I bet I know that the Beatles will be number 1, but the Eagles have got to be top 3.
Eagles are 8 and Beatles are not number 1, but they are in the top 5.
Wow.
Wait. I'm not sure which of those statements I'm more confused by. You're telling me the Beatles aren't number 1 and the Eagles aren't top 3? That's insane.
The Beatles are 2. They're number 2.
I am going
Who's
to.
number 1?
I am going to.
Creed.
I'm going to say Metallica. I want to say Metallica is on that list.
Number 9.
You stole mine. You stole mine. That was a good one. Wow, they're number 9, huh? All right. How about U2? U2's got to be up on the list.
Yeah.
Not top 15.
Wow, that's shocking.
You're
That is
kidding
shocking.
me.
That is shocking to me.
Do you want to know what? That is, like, I thought that's top 5.
Yeah.
That is a
with all the tours, all the money they
stunning
made, they were just at the
revelation.
Sphere. Wow.
Oh, wow. Maybe that's why they're playing the Sphere. They needed the money, divorce money.
All right,
You
Matt.
know?
What do you got?
I
Uh-oh, Matt's freezing on me.
no. Am I there?
Yeah, what do you got?
Let's see. I'm gonna say Led Zeppelin.
Number 1.
Wow, that's
True?
Number 1.
Yeah,
God, you got to get the
wondering-
lead out, man.
I'm wondering if this is revenue generating. Not that I don't love Led Zeppelin, but like, did they
Get the lead
really
out.
make more money than U2? Anyway, all right, so let's see. Led Zeppelin gets a ding. If we're talking, see, this is the thing. If we're talking just revenue, they were together a really long time, and they played a ton of shows. I gotta say, is the Grateful Dead on the list?
Oh.
Not top 15.
Good.
Wow.
Good. That is good.
Okay.
Oh, I do not like them. Do not like them. How about, wow, if U2's not on there, I'm at a loss now. I really am. How about Kiss? Is Kiss on that list?
Well, U2 was 16, so they were like right there.
Oh, they're on the nub. They're on the nub.
Kiss is not top 15.
No? Okay.
Matt, you need to have a guess ready when we get to you.
John
I've got
Bon
my
Jovi?
next guess.
Wait, who?
John Bon Jovi.
Not top 15.
Wow.
I'm gonna say Aerosmith.
You stole
Not
my
top
guess.
15.
Wow.
Wow.
There are
Stole
some
my guess
pretty
there.
big names that I guess I'm surprised
Does-
you haven't said yet.
Yeah. Let me ask. Does like Bruce Springsteen and the E Street
Oh,
Band,
yes,
does that
Springsteen's
does
gotta
that
be on
count?
there.
Does that count?
Not top 15.
Wow.
See, I gotta know the criteria because I gotta think. I think we're hitting the revenue generators. Are they all definitely rock bands?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, wait. So I'm gonna give you one, but this probably wouldn't be on the list. But technically speaking, he's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Michael Jackson.
No.
Not a
Wow.
rock band. I just asked, is there a rock band?
No, but Michael Jackson is in the Rock and Roll Hall of
Right,
Fame.
but he's not a rock band. I'm gonna go. Okay, I'm gonna go.
Creedence Clearwater
No,
Revival.
I'm gonna go The Doors. The Doors. Are the Doors on the list?
No way.
14. They're 14.
That's terrible. That's ridiculous. I'm gonna go. Did we mention Pink Floyd?
Oh, you just took it from me.
Number 4.
Suck it, buddy.
Matt, you're up.
Oh, geez, man. God. Fleetwood Mac.
11.
Wow, Fleetwood Mac 11. I'm gonna say
Fleetwood Mac is 11.
See, I'm confused by the
They've had
criteria.
like 80 different members too.
I'm gonna say, is Def Leppard on the list?
Not top 15.
All right. So we said Led Zeppelin, right?
Yes.
Did we say AC/DC?
Number 10.
Yeah.
How many do we have left?
Little Angus Young.
3, 5, 7, 12, 13, 15.
So we have 6 left, including the
This
2
is
in the
insane.
top 5.
Jeez. Oh man. I'm gonna. I don't know. The Doobie Brothers. I don't know.
Not top 15.
How about Van Halen?
7.
Really? Wow. Because I don't count anything after when
1984.
Yeah. What's who took over?
Sammy Hagar.
Yeah, I don't do any. If that doesn't count, as far as I'm concerned, that's a just completely different band.
By the way, if you're just tuning in, we're our Trivia Tuesday. We're counting down we're guessing the top 15 bands, rock bands of all time per Forbes, and we've
The
got
train
5
has gone
remaining.
completely off the rails.
We've got
at this
5
point. We
remaining.
just-
5 remaining. I am going to go. Gosh, I'm trying to think of like some kind of English band of the '60s that went on to things.
Put on to
Golly.
things.
I know.
The-
Did you say Leonard Skinnard?
No.
It's not on the list? All right.
No.
Leonard Skinner is my guess. Even though it's kind of rock, country rock.
Well, listen, we talked about him earlier on the show. Nikki Sixx and Motley Crue.
Oh. I think Motley Crue does not have Nikki Sixx, though.
Wait.
All right, I've got one for you. How about Journey?
No, not top 15.
Wow. Okay.
Madonna doesn't get on that thing, right? That doesn't count.
No Madonna.
Right? No, but yeah, Madonna doesn't count in that. Okay, I didn't think so. Because, oh boy, golly, Bill Haley in the comments.
No.
No. All right. I thought I might have snuck in one of those '50s bands for real rock and roll.
I think I've got one. I think I might know who 3 is. But go ahead, Matt.
We're gonna go with ZZ Top.
Great guess.
Oh, I'm gonna go with the King, Elvis Presley.
That's not a band.
No.
Yeah, but he was the king of rock.
Yeah,
That's what they
see,
called him.
I don't understand how they're doing all this stuff. How about this little nugget? Creedence Clearwater Revival. Did I use that guess yet?
It's not there.
It's not there.
You guys want me to just tell you?
No.
You can give us some hints. We need some hints here at this point.
Wait. Did somebody say Van Halen yet?
Yes, Van Halen's been said.
Okay.
Queen. Did someone say Queen? Do they count?
Number 3.
Queen is number 3.
Oh
wow. Yes.
Oh
God, for a dead dude.
I got another one. How about Foreigner?
No.
No. Okay.
Okay. You know what? They're cheating because I just thought of something that shouldn't count as a band, but I guarantee you it's on there. Is it the Jimi Hendrix Experience? Is that on there?
Yes. That's number 5.
Yeah, this
How
has
are they
to
cheating?
be. This can't be revenue generating because Jimi Hendrix passed away way too early.
Did we guess the Who?
Oh, we did not guess
that's 13.
the Who. Wow.
That's
Thank
13.
you. Thank you.
All right, so how many do we have left now? We have 3 left or 2 left?
2, just 12 and 15.
We need some hints, I think, for 12 and 15. Is there a female representative in any of these bands?
Oh yeah, the Bangles. Are the Bangles
No.
in the top 15?
The Go-Go's, Joan Jett, and
The
the Go-Go's.
Go-Go's?
No. All right.
Joan Jett. Yeah, we named all 3 all-female bands.
Ozzy, Black Sabbath.
12.
Good one.
Wow. All right. We only
Wow,
have
I would
one
have never
left.
guessed that one.
We
I would
only have
never
one
have guessed
left.
that.
Deep Purple?
Wait. What's that? Wait. What's that song? What's that really famous one? The Clash.
Yes.
The Clash are on the list?
Number 15.
Wow.
You're
All right,
kidding me.
So
there is no way the Clash made more money than
you
two.
There's no way.
No, I agree.
And I love the Clash.
There's no way that. No,
Hey, should I stay or should I go? Come on.
Yeah. All right. Can you? So for Bisa, for those who joined in the middle, or for our own sake, can you go through the list 1 through 15 for us?
Yeah. So at 15 we have The Clash, 14 The Doors, 13 The Who, 12 Black Sabbath, 11 Fleetwood Mac, 10 AC/DC, 9 Metallica.
How about the Knack? Are the Knack on there? The Knack? Get the Knack?
Not in the top 15.
Go ahead.
at
Keep
least.
going.
Let's see. 7 Metallica, 8 The Eagles, 7 Van Halen, 6 Rolling Stones, 5 Jimi Hendrix Experience, 4 Pink Floyd, 3 Queen, 2 Beatles, 1 Led Zeppelin.
Wow.
It's
That
coming from
is-
Forbes. This year, Forbes. They released this like just last month in April. So I don't
That's
know.
a good list, though. And it doesn't say up there by money, but the Clash made more than U2.
I think I think somebody at Ford was probably taking some party
Forbes.
favors from some of
Forbes.
the people on that list.
Forbes.
You know, I'm wondering if you went just upon like downloads, either money or downloads, like what and that limits some of the older musicians, obviously, but downloads. I mean, people still download old school music too. So anyway, I don't know. That list was interesting to say the least. Which one beats out of those bands? Do you like any of those bands? Which band would you say you like? You're most familiar with on that list?
I know a good bit. I used to like really love listening to like the like 70s, 80s music stations, like the Eurythmics. I wish they were on here.
The
I
Eurythmics? Did you say Eurythmics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Eurythmics. Annie Lennox at one time was the most beautiful woman on the planet.
I watched Annie Lennox open up for Sting at Pepsi Center in Denver one time, and I was blown away. She can sing. She can sing. She was amazing. Anyway,
Like Duran Duran.
I love Duran. Hey, Simon Le Bon, one of the great. I'll tell you, one of the most underappreciated lead singers in a rock band ever. Ever.
Speaking of, by the way, voices that are insanely iconic, I got a trivia question. I guarantee you that none of you will get this. So everyone knows my favorite band is the Eagles, but who did they open for initially when they first started out? Who was the main act that they were the opener for that gave them a shot to tour with them? It's a female.
Neil Diamond.
It's a female.
Neil Diamond.
Female.
Stevie Nicks.
No, although they had stuff with Stevie Nicks later, but no.
Yeah.
just give us the answer.
It's Linda Ronstadt.
Wow.
Yeah,
Linda
it was in that vein of it was in that vein of all the women singers who were hot and kind of sounded alike at that time.
Love Linda.
All right, but so Beast, just for you, you mentioned Duran Duran. I mentioned earlier in the show that I went down a YouTube rabbit hole last night, and I was watching Friday night videos, which you probably do not know what that is, but it was on NBC on Friday nights. This was like right around when MTV came onto the radar with everybody. And NBC, because not everybody had cable, not everybody had MTV, NBC would run like a 2-hour block with videos on a Friday night. And the one that I happened to watch last night just so happened to have this at the very beginning of the program.
Hi, good evening, America, parts of Canada, and a little bit of Mexico. This is Simon Le Bon.
And I'm Nick Rhodes. We're from a band called Duran Duran.
We'd like to say welcome to Friday Night Videos.
So that they did the open for Friday Night Videos.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was.
That is really cool.
Yeah, it was cool. I'll play you the little teaser too. Here's what they said was coming up on the show. Once they got through their little video thing here was what was coming up on the show.
Tonight on Friday Night Videos, brand new videos from Lionel Richie.
Are you somewhere feeling
Oh, hold me right now. Make me feel better.
Tell me how
John Lennon.
I'm stepping out.
Is that the real John Lennon or the son?
No, the real.
Oh, what was the son's name?
Julian.
Julian Lennon. He had a couple of hits, didn't he? I love this song.
It was a great
Love
video
the Cars.
too. Great video.
Love the Cars. All I want.
And John Cougar Mellencamp.
Oh yeah. Thought he always wins. I fight authority always wins.
An exclusive private reel with Freddie Mercury of Queen.
And to be honest, I mean, it was called Radio Kaka before.
A world premiere video from Midnight Star. Plus, Van Halen, Huey Lewis and the News, Tracy Ullman, Rockwell, 38 Special, Cyndi Lauper, The Curly Shuffle, Christine McVie.
The Curly
Howard
Shuffle. The Curly Shuffle. I remember the Curly Shuffle.
The Curly Shuffle. That was the Curly Shuffle plus the Curly
I
Shuffle.
have no idea what's going on. I have absolutely no idea.
Matt, I'm younger than you.
Just to look up Friday Night Videos. It was good stuff. Anyway, we're out of time. How about that? We put the wraps
I'm disappointed.
on yet another show. What are you disappointed by? That we're out of time?
That we're done. We're
Yeah.
done. I might go play 9 holes of golf right now.
That was a great show about nothing today. And tomorrow we'll do more shows, more stuff about nothing. Tomorrow we'll have
All right.
Ordinary Calls. I know we'll have that. And
By the way, I'm putting I'm putting a $10 parlay down on like a 12-team parlay, so I'll let you know if I win that.
I think Coase is done. He's taking the headset off and putting the mic down. So that's going to do it for this edition. Good luck on your parlay. And we will he's putting him back on. All right.
Yeah, I know.
All right.
I was getting summonsed by the boss.
Oh, you're all right. Well, she's telling you that the show is over. So the show's over.
Yeah, that's what she said.
I'm taking us down. We'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Thanks
All
for
right, guys.
playing here on LFG.